What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. The podcast being the 3 C's with Ginge. The 3 C's being coffee and content creation. And I have my co-host here today, Mr. Josh.
And my coffee's almost empty. That's what happens every time. I drink the coffee before we even start, because we have to get everything set up and we have to, just talk over our topics to make sure we're giving you good content. But every single time, my coffee is basically done.
It's done
by the time we start.
And mine's getting cold because I haven't, sipped on it
in like an hour.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So today we are going to be talking about how growth works. And again, kind of a disclaimer with everything else, just as before, this isn't the end all be all of information or, advice. This is just kind of things as we have seen them, as I have seen them, and just kind of giving that knowledge to you and hoping that maybe you'll take something away from it.
Yeah, just to jump on that point, it's not just as you've seen them, it's as you've experienced them.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of people online, and this is more of a in general statement about life, but you have a lot of people online that want to teach you stuff, but have never done it themselves or experienced it. And I promise you, Scaredy Ginge and myself, but very specifically her, have actually done it. So when we share things, these are from our own real world experience. The ups, the downs, the tears and the glory kind of deal. This is literally all from our actual experience. So make sure you take that to the bank kind of deal. It's not just, I'm not just sitting at home like, hey, we should run a podcast and just snake, sell snake venom or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. We're not even selling anything. We're just sharing free content because we want everyone to succeed and grow and stuff like that. So I just want to touch on that. It's not just stuff we've seen. This is what we do.
Yeah. So again, this is all about how growth works. One of the things when I first started out is you come in with this sense of, man, I am on top of the world. Every time I hit that go live button, I'm going to have viewers. People are going to sub to me. People are going to follow me, yada, yada, yada. And then you start streaming and you realize that is not how that goes. Now, that's not to say that that's not how that goes for everybody, but what ends up happening is unless you are bringing or converting. Like you're converting your audience over from other platforms, chances are you're going to sit between 0 and 3 viewers for at least the first month, if not more. Now, again, depending on how you go about building a community, whether you do what I feel is the correct way, which is, you're networking and getting to know people and all of that, or your follow for follow, which I very much am very against. That will also kind of dictate how it goes for you. But if you're doing it organically and you're really putting in that work and you're streaming and you're doing it, you're going to see the growth. But I think the most common misconception of it all is that growth is just going to come so quick and so fast. And all of a sudden you're going to be, sitting at 75 average viewers going for partner. Now, again, I'm 2 years in at this point almost, and I get around 40 to 50 average viewers for when I'm streaming. And I'm guessing maybe midsummer of 2020, I might be able to go for partner if the growth continues as it is right now. But that's 2 years now where most of the time I spent between 10 and 15 average viewers. So. And
if not even less than that.
Yeah.
Especially before this became a serious full-time thing,
Yep.
That's one thing you have to evaluate too. And I know we touch on this, and I will constantly touch on this. The advice we're offering is for anyone that wants to get into content creation, streaming, all that kind of stuff. But depending on your actual goals is what you have to identify those. Is this something you want to do professionally? Is this something you're just doing on the side? Whatever it might be. So you need to identify those goals. But jumping back to what you had started with, it's true. A lot of people get into the scene because they're like, they look at someone like Ninja.
Yep.
I love to talk about Ninja because I've been following Ninja before he was famous because I was always in the Halo community. And so he's just I'm just an avid fan.
Yeah.
Very loyal
and his
fan.
wife is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do a podcast on that sometime, just talking about them.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually on the support one we have coming up, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But to like I said, to jump back, a lot of people think about all this fame and glory and stuff like that. It's like people that move out to Hollywood thinking they're automatically going to become the next big actor kind of deal. I'm not saying that's not realistic. Don't get me wrong. I think it's important to have those goals in your head and to visualize that.
Helps
for
you
sure.
kind of push toward it.
Right, but your 100th time of pressing that live button, more than likely you're not going to have all that fame and fortune that you think you're going to have.
Yeah.
It's like working on a car. If anyone that's ever worked on a car, if the manual says or the directions say whatever project you're working on the car is going to take 45 minutes, you need to add 6 hours to it.
Exactly.
So
because you're gonna lose the 10 millimeter about 50 times before you even get to it. So
yeah, and just everything seems to take forever. So as far as building your own business and content creation and all that, basically whatever time frame you think you're going to be from where you are now to being the level of success that you want, realistically in your head, add 2-3 years.
Yep.
And I know that sounds like a lot right now, but 2-3 years, 4 or 5 years, that's not a very long time. It really isn't. And the thing is, time's going to go by either way, so might as well just do stuff with it. But 2-3 years of focusing on your craft, whatever it might be, getting better, it's not a very long time, but that is about what you should expect to start seeing more results and success.
And I think it's up to you to see when this is a career versus when this is a hobby type of thing. Is this something that you are going to do maybe for the rest of your life? Is this something that brings you happiness? Do you see yourself being able to grow a family if that's what you want? Do you see yourself being able to align with it, with your morals and all of that kind of stuff? Or is this something that, on the weekends, I just like to stream and have fun with my viewers or my teammates? Like, I know a couple people that the only reason why they stream is simply because they like to stream so that way they and their friends can hang out together. They don't do it for the views. They don't do it, to become the next big, Shroud or anything like that. It's literally just to have fun for them. Whereas somebody like me, or you look at somebody like Micro, who is a huge RuneScape streamer, it's day in and day out. I take one day off of streaming and that's it. Every other day I am streaming. I stream depending, again, because I have narcolepsy, so some days are very hard for me. But every once in a while, I'll go to that 6 to 8 hour stream and, I want to be able one day to be able to do those consistently. But again, you have to really be kind of upfront and know what you can and can't do. If this is going to be a career for you, you have to think of it as a career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Don't take any credit from yourself because you have consistently been doing 6 to 8 hour streams. So don't let her downplay you guys. She has been putting in that work. But it's always a constant adjustment too. I'm not saying that you should, if it's not working out for you, you shouldn't push to try to make it a full-time thing. Just being realistic in where you are takes a lot of self-awareness and a lot of real conversations with yourself.
Well, and one thing, so there is somebody on Twitch, and I'll link him below, but his name is Trouble Truck, and he's hilarious. He kind of posts up some, really funny things, but the thing is he's very real. He's a huge realist. And a couple things that he has said have really stuck with me. One of them being, you'll stream 8 to 12 hours a day and make, $250 from one sub, but you won't go out and get a part-time job. And that's coming from a place of when you're first starting out, especially if it's just you doing this, you do have bills to hit. You do have things to do, and you have to be realistic in knowing, can I support myself with this right now, or can I afford to do something that's going to at least pay the bills? So that way I'm not, because the thing is if you're stressing out and you're worried and you're doing that all the time, it's going to show. It's going to show big time with your content.
Absolutely. That's a good point. It doesn't matter if you live with mom and dad or if you're out on your own and have a family. Again, this is where I was just talking about deciding what you're going to do. But especially as you're first on, it's like any business. You shouldn't just quit whatever you're doing cold turkey to to turn 90 degrees and try something new.
I mean, when I first started, I was selling cars. I was working 16-hour days, and then I'd come home and I'd stream for 4 to 6 hours. It was something.
Those are long days. Absolutely. Yeah. It's true. So it's just, be realistic where you are. And then, again, you have to project forward a little bit, yep. But everyone has financial obligations. It doesn't matter where you're at. So just make sure you're taking care of those. And we're not telling anybody that you need to just quit and just go stream full time.
We don't believe in that whatsoever because... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the only reason we're at this point is because we looked at our finances. Mm-hmm. We cut down in areas that we could cut down, realized that I could support, like me alone, my paycheck could support our family. Mm-hmm. We had to, again, cut expenditures here and there and be a lot more financially aware.
Yep. Frugal.
Yeah, frugal. Yeah. I knew there was a word in there somewhere, we took it seriously, and here we are. And it's, we're just still moving forward. Yeah. It's just, we're just, as our life starts to adjust here, it's just a constant adjustment. It's for any of my military folks there, it's just adjusting fire constantly. So.
And one thing, so, we talked kind of about the money and such and, all of that. But another thing that I think you have to be kind of aware of is your viewage. When I first started out, again, I sort of was like, you know what? I'm going to have, 10 viewers watching me because this game, people love this game, yada, yada. And then for the first month, I think it took me almost 3 months to get to affiliate. For the first month, I was lucky to have 1 to 2 viewers. And that was like my husband, and it might have been Momo at that point. I don't even know if he was watching. Momo is my main mod. He's been my mod for the longest. But
basically a day one person.
Yeah.
I just want to jump in real quick. I don't want to lose your train of thought, but it's just, I know we've talked about it before, but that's why it doesn't matter your quote unquote numbers or your viewage. You need to pay attention to if someone's watching you, give them that respect back.
Yep.
That's how we turned our buddy Momo into, again, he's been a day one fan, and he's still here to us to this day, and he's actually a big part of our community because Shannon, our skater Ginge, she paid attention to him, and they built that relationship kind of deal. So it's just, again, something to think about. I just always, anytime that comes up, I want to hit on that because I just want to impress upon people. It's not about the numbers.
No,
okay?
Because they're not numbers. They're human beings.
They're people. They're people giving you their time. Mm-hmm. Okay. You need to understand that. I'm going to say they are people giving you their time.
Yep.
You need to treat them with that respect and give them that, that back.
Yep. But, one thing that you have to realize as well is there is going to be up and downs. There are going to be days. Look at me. I'll say me, for instance, because it's easiest to talk about me because I'm living it. But,
She likes to talk about herself.
No, don't ASMR people. They're not going to listen to us anymore. Did you get the tingles from that? Anyway, so there are some days where I can hit 50 to 60 average viewers, and then there can be another day where I hit maybe 20 or 30. And then if I go back even further, there were days where I was hitting 10 to 15, and then other days where I'd be lucky to get 5. And so one thing I think that you have to kind of be mindful of is no matter what your average viewership is, it is going to fluctuate. It's going to plateau. You're going to hit that 3, and then you'll hit 7, and then you'll hit 10 to 15. And if you're one of the lucky ones, you will continue to grow from there. But it seems that kind of the average viewership of Twitch entirely is between 10 to 15 average viewers. And so if you kind of look at it that way, if you're getting 10 to 15 viewers, that's kind of huge because then you're just with the average of everybody. But that's not to say that if you're only getting 5 average viewers that you're not a good streamer. I think kind of being self-aware and knowing that viewership really isn't necessarily about you, but maybe it's about the content that you're putting out or whatever it is, or you're just hitting that plateau. I think that's also what's going to kind of help your happiness, if that makes sense. So you're not putting all of the stress on yourself of, man, I'm only having 3 people watch me. How about being more real with yourself? Man, I'm playing World of Warcraft and, there's about 300 or 400 people streaming this right now. And I'm lucky that I have 3 people watching me because there's people below me that don't have any viewers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that is a very good point. I like to say. Yeah, no, I couldn't have said that better myself. Again, we always just talk about it's not numbers, they're people. So That's a big
Again,
point.
they're people that are giving you their time, and one thing that I've gotten huge about lately is, of course, I love it when people, tip me or give me money or give me, whatever. But one thing that I like to make clear is that, one, don't ever expect anything from anybody, because that's not fair to them and that's not fair to yourself. And two, always remember that they are giving you money out of their paycheck. They're giving you money from their pocket, money that might be going towards gas or their food or their bills. And so when they give you that $1 donation or that $5 donation, it might not seem like a lot, but that's $1 or $5 out of their pocket that they've decided to give to you because they either appreciate you or they like your content or they like you as a human being.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To jump back, kind of what you were just talking about a little bit ago too, the ups and downs. You are sitting at a 50 to 70 average viewer right now, but like you had just said, there are some days where you only have 20, 30, even with the same games doing the same thing. So sometimes it is definitely a crapshoot. Yeah. You got to understand that sometimes there's stuff going on. Real world events will affect what people are doing online.
Like yesterday, had I streamed when no, it wasn't yesterday.
Yeah, it was over this weekend. Yeah,
had I streamed when Diablo and stuff like that.
BlizzCon. When BlizzCon was going on. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So stuff like real world events will affect that. Mm-hmm. Something to keep in mind. I wouldn't base your entire streaming day off of it, but it is just absolutely something to keep in mind.
Yep.
But again, that's a perfect example of ups and downs to show that, sometimes you're not always going to be where you expect to be, but you don't let that affect you.
Well, and again, with, the averaging, plateaus and all that kind of stuff too, you can find articles and stuff about it. And actually, Wazzy, another RuneScape streamer, is just what I stream the most. So those are the people that I know.
Nerd.
Yes. He was the first one that really brought to light that 10 average viewer thing. When I was first starting out and kind of getting to know these guys and everything, I was like, man, I'm only getting 10 average viewers. And Wazzy was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's awesome. That's 10 average viewers, honestly, is putting you ahead of all of, like, a good, I don't even know, 50 to 60% of the people that are streaming on Twitch, and that really kind of brought some things to light. Okay, so I'm getting 10 average viewers. That's really awesome. That means that people are liking my content. I'm beginning to be with the average. So how do I push myself above average? How do I give people content that they will continue to come back to, but maybe bring their friends with, or, their clan members or their guild members or whatever it is, to help me kind of push forward, push past that. Because again, it's using your ability to network, but also just kind of using your personality to bring those people to you.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind too, that whole 10 average viewer thing, that could be very different as the time of this podcast too, because as we're doing this podcast, both the people we talked about earlier, Ninja and Shroud, have now actually left Twitch for Mixer.
Yep.
We're not sponsored by either, so we're just giving real world experience about it. So since they had such massive numbers, that could have actually brought the average viewership down.
Yep.
Perfect example. Next time you load up Twitch, and the only reason we talk most about Twitch because that is what Scaredy Ginge streams on, and that's what we are most familiar with. But I want you to go to whatever the game is in number 1 through number 3 category. Just click whatever. Mm-hmm. I want you to click it. I want you to see what the top 5 people, their numbers are, and then I want you to scroll down.
Yep.
And scroll down.
Yep.
And scroll down and see how long it takes you to scroll to the bottom and see how many people are sitting at between 0 and 5 viewers.
Yep.
You will literally just keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling. So if you have 5 viewers plus, it doesn't matter what you have, but like that's. You should be very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And then also, again, just talking about, because this podcast, we're kind of a little bit all over the place. We're talking about growth. That's a great way to network and talk to people.
Yeah.
Find a game that you like. Let's say you're a big League of Legends fan. There's a lot of people that stream League of Legends. I want you to go to League of Legends. I want you to click on it. I want you to scroll down. I want you to keep scrolling down.
Take you about 5 days to get to the bottom.
But wherever you stop, just look maybe for whatever reason, find a reason to click on somebody, whether it's you like their name or they have a clickbaity title. I don't care. Click on them.
Yep.
Talk to them. Set a timer. Have a 5-minute conversation with them. If there's someone that you just kind of seem to naturally click with, they have a good vibe. Follow them.
Yeah.
That is how you grow. That is how we grow. Now you have converted somebody maybe over to your channel, and you're also supporting other people. That is how you grow.
One thing that I have to, a lot of people give Twitch kind of like a lot of flack for just how bad they are at everything. And while I won't say that I don't agree with that, because there are some things that they could really work on, they have been doing a lot of work lately. And one thing that I so agree with is the fact that the follower number for people is now not necessarily hidden, but it's kind of buried. You have to find it. Because at the end of the day, and I've said this before, it does not matter how many followers you have. If, I have at this point, around 3,100 followers.
About 3,300 followers.
Yeah, 3,300 followers. Oh, that's right. Yep. But do you think 3,300 people are tuning into me at all times? No, obviously not. I'm not Ninja. I'm not these people. So realistically, those numbers, those follower numbers, it's not really that big of a deal. What matters is you organically growing, you making those kind of relationships with people. Again, like Josh just said, finding people that you enjoy watching, bringing them to you. Maybe they don't enjoy watching you, and that's fine. Not everybody is going to like your content, but at least know that your average viewers, those 10 people that are watching you every single time that you stream, or those 5 people, or those 3 people, or those 75 or 500 people, those are your, that's your group. Those are the people that are going to support you and be there for you. And so they're going to help you hit those numbers. They're the ones that are going to help you hit affiliate and then partner, and then maybe get partnered up, with, hardware companies like freaking Razer and stuff like that, But you have to be truthful with yourself and know that you are going to hit plateaus. You are going to hit certain numbers, and then you're going to stay there for a couple months. And if you realize that that's normal and that's the way that the growth works within Twitch, again, because I don't know anything about YouTube or Facebook or, Mixer, but if you are if you can be a realist with yourself in that aspect, I feel like your growth would be exponential, and you would start to see that even though it doesn't feel like you're doing a lot, you are.
She does know a lot about YouTube and Mixer and all that. She just, again, humble, which is great. Saying humble is very, very important. But she does know plenty about. We have so much more real world, real time experience.
I can give you more of my input on Twitch because again, I stream on Twitch just about every single day, and I spend a lot of my time on Twitch. So So
and then also jumping back to about if Razer is listening and wants to throw us any sort of sponsored
or
deal.
Twix.
Why always Twix? I couldn't even get through. See, now Razer's gonna listen. They're like, wow, they couldn't even get through saying Razer because they already jumped over the candy, killing me.
Goodness.
But let's just recap it. This has been a good one. I know it seems like we're all over the place, but it does all tie together.
Yeah.
So let's just give it a little recap. Growth isn't just this linear, straight up. Okay, you're gonna have plateaus, and sometimes plateau up and plateau down.
Think of it as climbing a mountain that has plenty of just ledges where you're gonna rest for a little bit.
Absolutely. It's you're gonna go up, then sometimes you're gonna plateau, and then sometimes you might shoot back down to even farther, and then you're gonna plateau, and then you're gonna come back up. It's just. The more you show up, the more chance you have of growing, obviously. But a big part of everything is, just plateaus are a real thing. Okay, plateaus that's where you can end up feeling burnout. You got to kind of push through them, or at least keep pushing forward. Okay. Remember, whatever your average number, whatever your average viewers are, just respect that. Give them back the courtesy of watching you and stuff like that. Then pro tip just about networking, and then finding people, find a game you like, maybe it's a game you stream, maybe it's not. Click on it, scroll down towards the bottom, towards the mid, whatever, and start just talking to people. Talk to people.
And learn from people.
Yeah, learn. Don't just go in there and drop your link of stuff.
Don't ever do that.
That's like a kind of unwritten, rule. It's a party foul. Don't do that.
No.
But go find someone and just start talking to them. that's what I'll do. I give myself a good, I told you guys 5 minutes. I give myself a good 10 minutes of talking to somebody to see how they treat me back, kind of deal, and just see if I kind of vibe with them. And that kind of goes in. Now put yourself in that person's shoes. So if I just told you to go to League of Legends, scroll down and talk to somebody, right? See if you vibe with them, give them a follow if you like them, then just connect with them. Now imagine you're that person that only has a couple of viewers and somebody comes in and gives you that time to talk to them. Make sure you're giving them that respect.
Yeah.
And if you can't in the moment, people understand you're playing games. So if you're in a hardcore battle or something like that, whatever
you're in like
game
Apex where you cannot look away.
Yeah, and maybe you can't necessarily multitask so well. Just let them know, like, hey guys, I'm almost done this game. I'll back out. Let's talk for a little while. Stuff like that. Just the honesty with your community is so essential. Yeah. It's so important, and I think that's really overrated.
Yeah.
So those are just some of our tips on growing and understanding that, again, it's not this just straight upward battle.
No,
so
there are going to be times where you're going to be sitting at one, and then that day will come where you'll start to see you're going up to that next, so just keep pushing and know that as long as you're putting in the effort and, you're being real with yourself and, and letting yourself grow at the pace that you're growing, I mean, you're going to do great, and again, my DMs are always open. You can comment down below, whatever it is, but I would like to hear your feedback. What are your thoughts really on average viewers? Like, is it a hard thing? Is it an easy thing? Just kind of give feedback on that. And, again, one thing that I wholeheartedly believe in, I just, me and Josh just talked about this for 26 minutes now. Maybe you can give some advice, maybe that we didn't give, you know what I mean? So feel free to put that down below. You can find me on Twitch at ScaredyGinge, ScaredyGinge, and then Twitter as well. Feel free to DM me on Twitter. It might take me a little bit to respond, but I will get back to you. And yeah, I think that's gonna kind of end it for this.
Make sure spell it out for people since you can't spell.
SCARDYGINGE. No E between the R and the D, just so we know that. There is no E there.
You probably just confused more people more than you help.
I'm going to write it for you guys.
Links will be below anyways,
Anyway, so yes, thank you so much for listening to this. If you did like it, please give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And we will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.